Chapter 4: Collective Awareness of Racial Emotions and Beliefs. Educators who want to disrupt racism need to understand what their colleagues, students, and community members individually and collectively think about race and racism. Having this understanding is important because it's just not possible to improve what you don't acknowledge and understand. In chapter 4 of my book, Stuck Improving, I argue that talking is a very important part of developing this understanding, but I advocate for a particular approach to talking. In this video, I explain what I mean by collective awareness of racial emotions and beliefs, and why it's important for all educators who are committed to making schools more racially equitable and affirming for students of color. My name is Decoteau. I'm a parent, educator, musician, and author of several books. When I refer to equitable change in schools, I look for two things that are different sides of the same coin. First, people make visible and disrupt the conventional practices and patterns that harm people of color. Second, people adopt new practices and policies that expand and improve people of color's learning opportunities, experiences, and outcomes. Awareness of racial emotions and beliefs is a racial resource that has a simple explanation. It means you know how people think and feel about the roles race and racism play in our everyday lives, from beliefs about why people get hired, how people vote and why, and beliefs about policing. Although these are topics that get a lot of attention in our society, most people don't know how their colleagues, students, and even their employers think and feel about these topics. Cultivating a collective awareness of racial emotions and beliefs is an essential part of creating educational equity within a school community. It's cultivated through a form of speaking that I call racial self-talk. You could think of racial self-talk as that internal dialogue about race and racism that goes through your mind whenever that thing happens. A Black person gets hired, a group of students refuse to recite the Pledge of Allegiance or stand for the national anthem. The thought that accompanies that eye roll when a student wears a Make America Great Again hat or a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. Racial self-talk does not intend to sway or convince others. It confronts and questions the self. Talking publicly about racial experiences and beliefs is risky business, but doing so creates opportunities for learning, critique, and reflection. How does this relate to equity improvement in schools? As a reminder, I refer to equitable changes as ones that disrupt conventional practices and patterns that harm people of color and that expand and improve people of color's learning opportunities, experiences, and outcomes. The conventional practice in schools is to avoid talking about race and racism. People go to great lengths to keep their beliefs about race and racism undisclosed. I get it. It was only after I revised my book that I wrote about my own experiences, beliefs, and shared my emotions. I left this information out of the first draft because it made me feel very vulnerable to share. But chapter 4, where I briefly share my own experiences of racism at a school board meeting, is the section that every single person who reads Stuck Improving expresses appreciation for. Writing it gave me an opportunity to learn about myself. This kind of courageous self-reflection and openness is what school communities need if they expect to create the conditions where Black and Brown children and students have conscious adults who are emotionally and intellectually available and capable of guiding their learning. There you have it, collective awareness of racial emotions and beliefs. If you haven't already done so, I encourage you to purchase and read my book, Stuck Improving. In it, I dedicate a full chapter to explaining collective awareness of racial emotions and beliefs and how it works to create a more racially equitable organization. If you found this information useful, please pass it along to others who may appreciate it. You can also find a downloadable PDF of this information on my website, stuckimproving.com. Until next time, stay in the struggle and remember that progress is possible and so is a more racially equitable world.